Okay, let's talk about something we all know. You ever feel like there's just a battle going on inside your own head? That constant chatter, the nonstop worry, the stress. Man, it can feel like it never ends. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive right into the core teachings of Eckhart Tolle to see if we can find a way out, a path to some real inner stillness, and, a genuine sense of peace. So let's just sit with that question for a moment. What if your biggest source of stress is your own mind? It's a pretty wild thought, right? What if it's not our jobs or our relationships or the world out there, but the constant, nonstop noise inside our own heads? This is exactly where Eckhart Tolle's work kicks off. He suggests this mental chatter isn't just some side effect of being busy. It's actually the main thing getting in the way of our happiness. Right. The voice in your head. We all have it, don't we? That little internal narrator that just never shuts up. It's always judging, always worrying, constantly replaying the past and stressing about the future. Now, according to Tolle, the very first step, and this is huge, isn't to try and fight that voice or argue with it. It's much simpler. It's just to notice it, to take a step back and just become the watcher of your own thoughts. And this idea completely reframes the whole situation. See, it means you're not broken. This isn't some personal failing on your part. It's a collective human condition. Tolle has a name for it, compulsive thinking. And all this nonstop mental noise, it creates this kind of phantom self, an identity that's built on nothing but thought. And it's this false self that ends up casting a huge shadow of fear and, frankly, suffering over our lives.
Okay, so what is this mind-made self, really? Well, Tolle gives it a name we all know, but maybe not in this context. He calls it the ego. And I know what you're thinking, but hold on. It's probably not what you think. This goes way deeper than just someone being arrogant or full of themselves.
See, at its absolute core, the ego is when we identify with form, with things. It all starts when we're little kids with my toy. And as we get older, it just gets more complex, right? It becomes my house, my job, my political opinions, even my pain. It's this version of ourselves that's always looking outside for things to feel complete. And it traps us in this totally draining cycle of wanting something, getting it, and then being terrified of losing it. So how does this actually show up in our day-to-day lives? Well, let's get real for a second. Have you ever been in an argument where you just had to win? You had to be right, even when you kind of knew you were wrong? Yep, that's the ego. It's defending its territory. Because for the ego, being wrong feels like annihilation. It's like a mini death. But here's the thing. The ego doesn't work alone. Oh, no. It has a powerful accomplice, and Tolle calls this the pain body. Now, this is a concept that's going to help explain why sometimes, out of nowhere, we just get completely hijacked by these sudden, overwhelming waves of negative emotion. So think of it like this. Every really painful emotion we've ever had that we didn't fully feel and let go of, especially stuff from when we were kids, it doesn't just vanish. Nope, it sticks around. It accumulates and forms this kind of energy field inside of us. And this pain body, as he calls it, it mostly lies dormant, but every so often it wakes up and man, is it hungry. It's hungry for more pain. And when that pain body is awake, it's on the hunt. It actively looks for situations that will create more negativity. It's like a little drama magnet. It absolutely craves it. It'll even start a fight in your relationships, just so it can get its fix. Now, just recognizing this pattern, that's the absolute crucial first step to getting free. You start to see it for what it is. It's not you. It's just an old, painful energy pattern playing out. So what this all boils down to is a fundamental choice, really. We can live identified with that ego-driven mind, totally lost in the past and the future, constantly creating fear and conflict, or we can choose to connect with our true self, our deeper being, which, and this is the key, only exists in the quiet stillness of the present moment. And that's where the real peace is. All right, so this brings us to the antidote, the way out. And you know what? It's both incredibly simple and, at the same time, profoundly transformative. The way out of all this suffering that the mind creates isn't to think your way out of it. It's actually to step out of that chaotic stream of thought altogether. This right here is the absolute key. Think about it. The ego is made of stuff from the past, regrets, stories, and stuff from the future, anxiety, what-ifs. So when you bring your full, undivided attention to this exact moment, right now, the ego has nothing to grab onto. It's like pulling its plug. It just starts to dissolve.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Have you ever in your entire life experienced anything that wasn't happening now? Everything that ever happened in the past happened in a now, and anything that will ever happen in the future is going to happen in a now. The present moment isn't just one moment ticking by. It's the only thing that has ever been real. It's all there is. Okay, so this is where it gets really practical. I get it. It sounds good in theory, but how do we actually do this? How do we make the now the main focus of our lives when everything is pulling us away? Well, this is the good part. Tolle gives us some incredibly simple yet powerful tools to help us get there.
And hey, for anyone who wants to go deeper with this stuff, it's all about practice. The goal isn't just to get it in your head, right? It's not an intellectual puzzle. The whole point is to actually bring these simple exercises into your daily life, your everyday routine.
So Tolle gives us this amazing 3-step framework for bringing presence into literally anything you're doing. So let's take something super mundane like washing the dishes. You start with acceptance, and that doesn't mean you're defeated like, ugh, I have to do the dishes. It's an active yes to reality. Okay, right now, this is what's happening. I'm washing dishes. Then from there, you might find enjoyment, just feeling the warm water on your hands, the smell of the soap. And sometimes that little bit of enjoyment can actually blossom into enthusiasm, where you're so into it that it feels creative and effortless. And the beautiful thing about all this is you don't have to go on some fancy retreat or sit on a mountaintop for hours. You can practice this stuff right now. The next time you wash your hands, just feel the water. The next time you're walking upstairs, just notice each step. These tiny, simple acts are what pull your attention out of that chaotic mess in your head and anchor you right back here in the peaceful reality of the present.
And so this brings us all the way back to the most essential question of all. When that voice in your head finally quiets down, when all the labels you have for yourself and the stories you tell yourself just fall away, what's left? That quiet stillness, that simple awareness, that deep sense of just being here. Tolle says that is the beginning of discovering who you really are. So the question I want to leave you with is this: who are you when you're not thinking? Who are you, really, beyond all that noise?